All right, good evening. It is after 7 o'clock. Matter of fact, it's after 7:20. We had some run over with our previous meeting, but at this point, we'll get this meeting started. It is our regularly scheduled meeting of Worcester City Council, held this Monday, April 21st. We are here in council chambers, and we are live streamed on YouTube. And our next regularly scheduled meeting will be Monday, May 5th of 2025. Ms. Hamilton, please call the roll on our council members.
Mr. Abernathy.
Here.
Mr. Gaffey.
Here.
Mr. Guzay.
Here.
Ms. Knappich. Here. Mr. Moulton.
Here.
Mr. Myers.
Here.
Ms. Warden.
Okay, Ms. Warden had called earlier today or emailed earlier today and said she was going to be unable to attend, unfortunately, due to illness. So with that, we have a quorum. Our agenda will remain as presented. At this time, we'll stand and join the members of council in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If I could have a motion to approve the minutes from our meeting held on April 7th.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Mr. Myers. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Abernathy. All those in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. And then also a motion to approve our special meeting minutes held on April 9th.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Abernathy. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gaffey. All those in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Communications from the mayor. Mr. Mayor, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. Customarily, I think I would turn this over to Mr. Montgomery for a few items, but I feel like he's talked himself out. So I'll just say that council did receive two communications from him last Friday. The first was the typical twice a month update as to city projects. If there's questions about those, we'd be happy to try to answer them. More maybe significantly is there was a response prepared to the issues that came up during our work session prior to our last regularly scheduled meeting. Again, it was Friday, we had a holiday weekend, there was a fair amount of material there, so I doubt that people have dug into that too much, but that's available, and that was provided at the request of Mr. Sanders following our last meeting, and we'd be happy to go into that tonight if necessary, but at a later date if that makes more sense. And obviously, as with anything, but in this project in particular, if there are questions and concerns, please contact the administration, contact engineering, contact Worcester PD, Worcester Fire, depending on where the concerns are. Spring newsletter's out. Vince Marion did a very nice job of putting together a summary of the work done by the steering committee and the consulting group for the proposal is going to go back to steering committee now for action. And again, looking forward to see what comes of that. I thought the newspaper did a nice job of summarizing that report, and that was pretty informative. Also, more recently, there was a report about some new housing projects, and I would just say one thing about that. The number 2,000 was thrown around in that as far as a target for new housing, and I think the article talks about it as a target for Worcester City. That's not accurate. That's the WEDC number that was for the county as a whole. I recognize that the majority of those probably would be in the Worcester area, but just one clarification on that point. Overall, I thought both those articles were very good. As far as things that have happened since our last regular scheduled meeting, we did have that special council meeting. And I do want to thank everybody for making arrangements to get there if you can so we can get that done. I know both the applicants, Jarrett Corporation and Seaman Corporation, were appreciative of us making the effort to get that done. And again, it was no fault of anybody's that we didn't get it done at a regular scheduled meeting, but our willingness to adjust our schedules to accommodate them, I think, was appreciated. April 11th, we had our quarterly meeting with WDC. That went well. April 14th, we had a meeting with Senator Leonard. I'm going to say Leonard, I think it's Leonhard, who is the new area director of the Red Cross. And we're talking about ways to kind of integrate the services they offer with the services that we already offer through the Wooster Fire Department primarily. But it was good to meet her, and she's anxious to learn more about the community. April 16th, we attended the Children's Services Luncheon. I know a number of council members did as well. Worcester PD had an officer again nominated for their Officer of the Year Award. For better or for worse, our candidate did not come away with that award, but I'm sure they were all deserving candidates, and you can't win it every year. That same day, we had a meeting with Senator Matt Dolan, former Senator Matt Dolan, who's now the head of Team NEO, and he was doing kind of he's got Northeast Ohio, I think he said 14 counties, something of that nature, and he was doing a whirlwind tour of those 14 counties over the course of a couple of weeks, trying to learn about more of our local issues. So I think we had a nice conversation with him. I know Phil was there, Joel, myself, and Jonathan, and had a nice discussion. Orville and Rittman mayors and their city managers were there as well. So they had a good chance to talk about local issues that may not be familiar to somebody coming out of Cuyahoga County. We had a busy day that day. We followed that up with our every other month managers meeting. Again, went well. Things seem to be running well. In the big update, I'm going to pull my phone out for this one. This is hot off the press. Earlier today, Mr. White, Kevin, ran in the Boston Marathon finished with a time of 2 hours and 31 minutes.
That's a good time.
That's flying.
Placing
a
the
good
top
time.
Placing the top 300 out of almost 29,000 runners.
Wow.
Better than the top 1%. So his pace was 5:48 per mile, which is about 11 miles an hour. So, any of you want to go out jogging with Kevin sometime, let him know.
John Rice might be able to.
John might. I don't see anybody else in this room. I'm sorry.
No way.
I couldn't do it on a bicycle. So again, hats off to Kevin for that, and something for us to take a little vicarious pride in. Looking ahead, next week is Right to Read Week. We're doing reading out at Ida Sue. Looking forward to that. We have a WARCOG meeting tentatively on Tuesday. May not be. I'm sorry, that's tomorrow. So this is Right to Read Week. Tomorrow I'm going to be at Ida Sue. WARCOG meeting in the afternoon. The WDC annual meeting is on Thursday. Friday is the Arbor Day event. I think you should have all received an invitation for that. Hopefully the weather's going to cooperate on that. We're doing that at Christmas Run Park, I think at 1 o'clock. Or is that right? 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock? May 1st, we are having the Future Sites meeting involving WDC and the commissioners, I believe. Again, this is to talk about that question of, okay, where, for future growth, where are we looking to? Are there sites available? How do we make those available if we have other businesses wanting to come to town, or current businesses looking to expand? How do we keep them in town? So that'll be an interesting meeting.
When is that? When is that?
That's May 1st.
Thank you.
And then I'll put in a plug, try not to do this too much because we have a lot of good nonprofits, but on May 2nd, the Exchange Club is doing their reverse raffle event, and I'll put in a plug for that solely because that's the fireworks fund. That generates funds for our fireworks, and it's a nice event, and goes a long way towards providing funds for our community fireworks celebration. We have looking at the agenda for tonight, we have 3 new items of business. The first 2 require 3 readings, while the third is a budgeted item. The administration is asking the council to consider suspending the rules and putting the first item on third and final reading, as ODOT has set a deadline of May 2nd for a response. And I am sure that Mr. Huzay will be talking more about that in a few minutes. The other thing that I guess came up, and I guess my notes are from last week before a number of things happened. I don't know about you, but I got a number of calls last week about the court flag on the courthouse and what can be done about that, because it was not looking in great shape. And I didn't mean to throw the commissioners under the bus, but I did. I had to explain to people that that's not a city flag, it's not a city building, it's up to the commissioners. Then we happened to run into them, and I passed along that comment. They'd been hearing it, and the good news is the new flag should be up and flying now, so that's behind us. Now, again, on a more somber note, it's now at half-mast. And even before the Pope, the loss of the Lieutenant Paul McCulloch of the Town and Country Fire District over I think on Friday or Thursday of last week, had it at half-mast before that. So, our thoughts and prayers out to that community and his family for that. So with that, Mr. President, back to you.
All right, thank you very much. Next item is communications from the public, which we have none. We do also have a liquor control petition, which if you'll read that for us, Ms. Hamilton.
Seems like we have one every meeting now.
I was going to say, I thought we did this one already.
Well, it's actually a different type of license. I looked at, because it was a D5L before, which has to do with the zoning, I think, and this is a D5, which is different for some reason. So the liquor control request is for a new D5 license for the Excelsior Room LLC, DBA The Excelsior Room, 144 West Liberty Street, second floor in Worcester.
And as usual, we have three options: one to hold a hearing in our county seat, one to hold a hearing in Columbus, or B, not to hold a hearing at all. So what say you, council members?
Motion to waive hearing.
Motion to waive hearing, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Abernathy. All in favor of the, we don't have to,
It's just voice vote.
yeah, so all in favor of that signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. And just for the record, D5 allows for on-off sales of beer, wine, prepackaged, low-proof mixed beverages, and on-premises only consumption of high-proof spirits until 2:30 a.m. Since I've wasted the paper to print that off, I might as well read it.
I was actually going to
Thank you, I
ask.
didn't
so
know.
thank you. It just seems like we should have that information, since we generally waive the hearing, we should have an idea what we're approving without a hearing.
You would think.
That would be helpful.
You would think the liquor control would include that. in
Would be helpful,
application, but
yes.
That's what I
Yeah, it's
looked
either
it up.
that or just a wine and beer license.
Yeah, so. Next item is unfinished business, which we have none, and we'll move right into our new business, which at this point, our first piece will be introduced by Mr. Jose. Oh my, sorry about that. I did miss that. I guess we'll have your committee report there, Mr. Abernathy.
Oh, it's uneventful. Although we did run over by a little bit, but Mr. Doherty did present the first quarter financials, and as he said, unremarkably uneventful, pretty much right on budget or slightly ahead. A lot of the projects that were slated for the year have not started yet, so not much to report on that. And then Mr. Montgomery did go through an operations update. So that was pretty much it. So I do, however, need to schedule a public hearing for June 2nd at 6 p.m. That will be going through the 2026 tax budget schedule. Did I get that right, Andre?
Yeah, so you can do the public hearing at 7:30.
The public hearing can happen during the council meeting itself, so we won't have to come early.
We can do it during the council meeting.
Okay, well,
It'll be quick and easy.
I appreciate the lack of pain on that, so
Yes.
let's do it that way.
Thank you.
So we'll just do it at the council meeting.
Yeah, 7:30.
Seven.
Well, we do start council at 7 now.
7 now. Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry.
I said, what, you want to push it back now?
Stand corrected,
So you and I are
All
both
right,
confused.
I shouldn't be, but yeah.
So now it's settled. It'll be at 7 p.m., not 7:30 or 6. We'll be at 7.
Correct.
All right, it's settled.
Sounds good.
All right, I'm done.
I'll
All
send you
right.
notice.
Thanks,
All
I
right,
figured
thank
you
you.
would.
All right, well, now we'll move on to new business. But first, we'll have Ms. Hamilton read it for us.
Resolution number 2025-33, a resolution authorizing the Director of Administration to enter into a contract to participate in the ODOT Cooperative Purchasing Program and allowing for immediate enactment.
Mr. Jose, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, pretty boilerplate request here from the PPM division. Obviously, we went through our road salt this past winter, completed quite a bit of that. So this is just a request to join in with the ODOT Cooperative Purchasing Program so that we can replenish our salt supply. And need to pass today kind of to encourage you to ODOT requirements. Mr. Denning is here with there's any further questions. We do need to move quickly on this one.
Okay.
I guess since I don't see,
Motion to suspend rules.
yeah.
Second.
All right, motion to suspend, second. Ms. Hamilton, please call the roll on the suspension.
Mr. Huzay.
Yes.
Ms. Knappich.
Yes.
Mr. Gaffey.
Yes.
Mr. Malta.
Yes.
Mr. Myers.
Yes.
Mr. Abernathy.
Yes.
All right.
And motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Abernathy. Ms. Hamilton, please call the roll on the adoption.
Mr. Huzay.
Yes.
Ms. Knappich.
Yes.
Mr. Gaffey.
Yes.
Mr. Malta.
Yes.
Mr. Myers.
Yes.
Mr. Abernathy.
Yes.
All right, very good. Our next item, ordinance 2025-87, which will be introduced by Ms. Knappich.
Yes, this is an ordinance.
Well, but Ms.
Oh,
Hamilton
sorry about
first needs to
that.
read it.
I was in a hurry.
We're all in our game.
We're all in a hurry.
Ordinance number 2025-08, an ordinance to approve and to adopt current replacement pages to the codified ordinances.
All right, Ms. Knappich.
Thank you. Yes, this is pretty standard. We do this every year, every time when we change ordinances, when they are updated. We have to adopt the current replacement pages to put it in the ordinance. I generally, taking my job seriously, take an opportunity to cross-reference, make sure that it contains everything we did and it's accurate. I have not had an opportunity to do that, so I would like to leave it on first reading.
All right. Okay, well, is there any questions the council has related to this? It appears this is just two items, two traffic code items, if I'm reading this correctly.
I think so.
Yeah, so be one of the easier, or one of the lesser adaptations, at least in recent years, because we've
Oh.
had some real humdingers here.
We've
the last
had
couple
some
years.
huge ones.
Yeah,
but,
so
yeah.
that's interesting, just two items, but, all right, well, that will officially say that it's had its first reading, and we will move on to our last item this evening, which is Resolution 2025-34, which will be introduced by Mr. Malta, but first, Ms. Hamilton, if you'll please read it for us.
Resolution number 2025-34, a resolution authorizing the Director of Administration to enter into a professional services contract with Jones and Henry for engineering services and allowing for immediate enactment.
Mr. Malta, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is to prepare a operations manual for the wastewater treatment plant, and this is required, my understanding, by the EPA. Mr. Fritz is here with us tonight to answer any additional questions. I would like to add that this manual is also used in training of all the operators. So if they want to move up a class, this is probably their best training piece they have on site. And it's always a reference point. And I think we are quite outdated on this one.
A little bit, yes. Yeah, this is just to consolidate the last round of improvements with all of the different processes. So basically consolidate the O&M manual, and it's required by the EPA as part of our conditions of our loan. So
Any questions?
What will they be doing as part of, I'm assuming they're consulting to help build out this manual?
yes, they'll take all of the manuals that exist for the different processes, consolidate it into one. This really hasn't been done since 2005, when ETS did the improvements. That was the last kind of consolidated improvements of the plant. So this will get us up to date for the last 20 years worth of work that we've done.
So how big is this manual we talking about?
It's going to be, it's big.
As I was going to say, it better be massive for what they're charging you.
Yes, it is. It's going to be, if you can imagine, what we call the wet stream side of the plant, which is everything but sludge.
Mhm.
It covers all of those processes from the headworks, grit, primary settling, aeration, secondary settling, all of those processes, the biofos, all of it kind of gets turned into that one consolidated manual. And it's really a how to run a plant manual. So it's pretty comprehensive.
And pretty important. Okay.
Now, is this a brand-new manual, or is just this an update manual?
It's updating the old manual, but if you can imagine, the ATS process was entirely different than how they're running the plant now, so it's more like, it's probably 95% new and 5% older.
That can justify the price.
Okay.
Any other questions? It is a budgeted item, so motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt by Mr. Malta, is there a second?
Second?
Second by Ms. Knappich. Ms. Hamilton, please call the roll on the adoption.
Mr. Malta.
Yes.
Mr. Abernathy.
Yes.
Mr. Gaffey.
Yes.
Mr. Huzay.
Yes.
Mr. Myers.
Yes.
Ms. Knappich.
Yes.
All right. Just quickly, though, what's their time duration on this, on the,
I think we were given a year of.
okay. And I was gonna say, at this point, it's gonna take probably a year to gather that data,
I
so.
was gonna say.
I mean,
Job, I won't.
to sit there and think about
It was a technical
the dollar
term,
amount,
last
I mean,
line.
you could tie one guy up in the office to spend a year doing that. And at this point, that makes no sense, so,
Yes, it's going to take a while.
yeah. Very good. Well, we'll move on to miscellaneous. At this point, we had a couple people sign up. Mr. Gooch at 1636 Gashi Street. You're gonna fill us in on your issues with planning and zoning, huh?
Good evening, I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you tonight. So imagine you're driving home, you're almost there, you go by a property and you see one of those signs. I'm talking about the public meeting signs. And so you think, oh, that's interesting, I'd like to find out what that's about. Go to the meeting, hear a great presentation, and then the public isn't able to speak. And so I think that's a frustrating sort of situation for a number of residents, because you go anticipating that you're going to be able to hear what's going on, maybe give some feedback, ask some questions, and then you can't. And so I would like to ask two things, actually. One, if there's not already an opportunity in the various processes with planning, BZA, design commissions, could we make sure there is one in there? And then another piece of that would be, can we provide a general overview, maybe a flow chart of how those processes work? I know some of them may move into others, but it's kind of difficult to figure out how that process works, if or where you might be able to have an opportunity to make comments or suggestions in relation to those things. And then closely associated with that is, I've noticed on a couple city sites, the way they find people for their boards and commissions is to actually provide an online application form for their residents. And then those are reviewed and selected from there. And so Dublin, City of Green, and Oberlin are a couple examples of that. So thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Barnett.
Good evening. Health Point, half mile from my house. Heading north, 5 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes to get there. But the intersection by my house, we need to spend $4 million on a peanut because we have congestion for 15 minutes before school day, 15 minutes after school day. We're gonna build this peanut. Pedestrian safety is a very much concern. My property value, along with my neighbors, will go down. It's congested all over town, people. 5 minutes to go a half mile. And you're worried about how many school days we have, 160? That's it? And you want to spend $4 million? I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. right. Miscellaneous for council. Mr. Gaffey, what do you have for us this evening?
Just glad the weather's warming up and able to get outside. I think appreciate Mr. Gooch and Mr. Barnett speaking tonight and sharing their thoughts on things. And that's really about it for me.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Malta?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to thank all those in attendance and watching us tonight. We do have a large audience that sometimes we don't realize. And, that's all I have tonight.
All right. Mr. Huzay?
Nothing to add tonight, Mr. President.
Mr. Abernathy?
Mr. Montgomery, you sent some very good stuff over sometimes, and I know you don't get credit for it, but you sent something over a couple weeks ago through the Ohio Municipal League that the Ohio General Assembly has been working on, and they just put it into House Bill 96, which was the revised revenue sharing for cannabis. And it looks like that after 5 years, local municipalities are going to get 0% of the revenue. Am I seeing that right in what they're putting into the bill?
That's what I'm reading as well.
Okay. So do we know if that's moved any further through the Senate yet? I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but I know that the House passed it already.
I don't know if they've had committee or not yet in the Senate.
But it was definitely something that I know that, not that I want to drum up the marijuana conversation again, but it is something that when we do have those conversations, we have very incomplete information, and this was one of my main concerns, and now it is coming to fruition that it looks like the state of Ohio is going to centralize all of that revenue. So I appreciate you giving us that information, and it was very valuable for me to see that. So I have nothing further to add this evening. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Knappich?
Yes, thank you very much. I want to, of course, thank everyone who's attending, thanking everyone who's attending and watching on YouTube. It really is helpful when you folks are here and give us feedback. I'd like to also congratulate Kevin White for doing such an amazing job in the Boston Marathon. It would have taken me 2 days, 6 days, I don't know, but it would have been 2 hours and 41 minutes for sure. And I want to, as I'm sure we all do, extend my continuing wishes, our continuing wishes to Chief Fisher in his recovery. And also Sarah Lynn Lesh of our finance department. She had pretty major surgery recently, so I'm sure we all want to wish her the best and a quick recovery as well. And that's it for me. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Myers?
Thank you. Yeah, just want to say thank you for all the people who came this evening to the meeting, and the presentations were also very informative earlier, the 6 o'clock meeting. For the public, we got the overview of the departmental reports, which are now available on the city's website. So there's a lot of good information. If you're wondering what our different departments and our folks are doing at the city, those are all really thoroughly prepared by our department managers. We got an overview tonight, but I particularly find like the responses, the calls for our police department and fire department, those are interesting numbers. If you get a chance to go take a look at those, I think they're really fun to read. They're all online. So also my continued prayers for Matt Fisher. And since he's probably just going to be watching these, nonstop, I just want to say hi and wish him well. So, and congratulations to Kevin White. I used to see Kevin run when he was on the high school cross country team, and obviously he's continuing with his working out at that. So good, hats off to Kevin. So, motion to adjourn.
All right, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we're adjourned. Thank you.